I would just like to let the beats play. Oh, and play for a little bit.
That's DJ Justin Hamill on the ones and twos. Nah, he's always doing some good stuff.
What's your radio name?
Yeah, what's your radio name?
Usually I just go by Hamill.
Hamill?
Oh, I gave it to you last week, remember? J-Ham.
Yeah.
J-Ham.
J-Ham.
I have one, but I can't say it on the air.
Uh-oh. Must be nasty.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
But you can say it on the air other places?
No,
I can't
really.
This is the place you can say it, can't you?
I can't.
Did Tom tell us that?
I mean,
the underbelly.
If you guys are okay with it, I'll tell it to you.
Tell us.
DJ Hamilton.
Actually, I think that's funny.
Yeah,
I think there's nothing offensive about it. I think that's hilarious. Ladies, when you are wearing tight pants, let me just, public service announcement for Rachel Baribeau on the BHop Baribeau Show. Watch your camel toe. Just watch for the prevalence or the appearance of a camel toe. Just that's all I'm going to say, ladies.
Yeah, I'm going down the wrong path. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut over here.
That's why I didn't want to start the show off that way, but
yet Rachel
you
took
guys
it and ran
asked
with
for
it.
You guys asked for it.
We did.
It's Friday. We can do that.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
What is going
morning.
on, RB? How are you?
Good morning. How you feeling this morning?
You know, I'm a little tight, neck's a little stiff, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
If you're following any of us on social media, Rachel and I were boxing each other. No, I'm just kidding. We're boxing each other. She probably kicked my butt. You've done that before, haven't you?
Long time ago.
Either way, you had good form.
Whatever
You had good form.
You did, and I kept so to back up. We had Ryan on, awesome guy. Yep, and from Nashville Fit, and he runs his online magazine. And we had him on a couple weeks ago, and it's really cool. He wanted to talk about what he does. Is he highlights different gyms and different organizations around here, and he wants to get people healthy and get people fit. And so he suggested we do an Acme Radio Fit Tour, hashtag Acme Radio Fit Tour, where Brad and I went with him around the city to do different types of athletic feats. Mm-hmm. Yesterday it was boxing at Title Boxing, thanks to Shiva and James over there, the owners. And Brad, I kept looking over at you to do the fist bump, but you were very serious into it. You were at a place where whoever had made you mad, it felt like they were that bad.
It wasn't mad. It was just Ed Morton, the guy that was training us, the one that was running our particular class. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he does it, being able to talk and exercise at the same time. I can't. The guy next to me was a very nice guy, but I really wanted to say, shut up talking to me.
Was he talking to you a lot?
I mean, man, the only reason why I said that, not because, I was trying to be mean, it's look, I can't respond to you, bro, when I'm sitting here trying to work out.
Right.
I need to concentrate on my breathing and focus to get through this. I knew it was going to be hard.
Yeah.
So I can't run off at the mouth while I'm trying to keep my breath going and all this other stuff. So I truly marvel at his ability, first off, to give us the movements that we need to be doing, and then to articulate to the class while he's and keep us inspired too. By the way,
absolutely, he had music going on, and by the way, it's Title Boxing. Is it Cool Springs or Franklin?
It's called Franklin and Cool Springs, but that's what There's two of them. There's one in Green Hills also, but we went to the one in Franklin.
And it was 15 minutes of a warm up that about killed Brad and I. The warm up.
Yeah, Justin's laughing because this guy's having us doing just the most insane stuff we were doing. So I said, "Oh my God, this is the warm up?
Yeah.
What are we gonna be doing?" And he said we had 8 3-minute rounds to box. I mean, 8 3-minute rounds now.
Doesn't sound bad.
And I haven't strapped up the gloves or anything. I knew we were in trouble. And this guy's yammering next to me. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna punch you in the face if you don't be quiet." So anyway, I look over and Rachel is doing the moves. I said, you know what?
That's not true.
I said, she so suckered me into this because here she is just first off, one point, Justin, I look over and Rachel's got the phone out and she's filming me. I looked over and said, if you don't get over there and work out, video on me, because it was insane. It was a great workout. I advise it for anybody. That was pretty cool. Go back to it.
Well, no. To add on to what you were saying, when we did get into the actual workout, it's a combination, right? So it's like jab, hook, side hook, body hook,
rear hook, lead hook,
side hook,
uppercut.
uppercut. I mean, and they're amazing, and I'm sure if we get to go back, we will get that. But when you're new to this, it's not my discipline. I'm a CrossFitter, and I sometimes do yoga. But and so Shiva said, if you get lost, just jab, just punch the bag, And you got these big gloves on, you got these wraps on, and I mean, I was it whipped
Shiva actually,
my butt.
She put my wraps on for me, and I tell you what, Justin. When she put my raps on, I felt like that music. Dun, 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 dun. It's about to be on, right? And you get these big boxing gloves, and you're like, man, this is about to happen. I'm about to just beat the piss out of this bag, then exhaustion sets in. And I was like a flailing 6-year-old. At one point, remember when Ed gave us the street fight? He said, all right, for 30 seconds, just go ham on the bag. Just, do whatever you want to do. I mean, I was kicking. I heard you laughing at me, too. I was kicking it with me in it. I was elbowing it. I grabbed it in a bear hug and was like punching it. I did everything I could to take out my angst on the bag.
And I tried to do the same thing. So I was trying to mimic him, right? So then at the same time, I tried to kick my bag, but I was so sweaty, the bag slipped back and hit me in the face.
Yeah, that was one thing he told us. He said, don't turn your wrist like you normally would on an uppercut because the bag, you'll slide off the bag and hit yourself in the face.
Oh, my gosh.
So it was true. I mean, once it starts getting, sweaty, and I had a guy, you know what? We had more invitations to do other gyms and do other things from that post that we put up on social media. So there's a guy, I can't remember what his name is, or I would give him credit. I think his name was Aaron. He sent me a little link to some, it's like what is it, like deadlifting and stuff like that,
Like CrossFit?
Well, it was CrossFit, but they had weights, like they were doing deadlifts and stuff, and it was I was like, wow, that sounds insane right there. But so we're getting more invitations to do other things from that.
I love it. And your special needs though, and we're like in the middle of these boxes. This is all I'm gonna say, but we're in the middle of these, these bags, and you can barely see us, but somehow the instructors kept finding us and going, okay, Brad, do it this way. Okay, Rachel, do it this way.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that you're obviously new in the class and you need some help.
Yeah, the guy actually had the mitts out, that you can actually he holds up in front of you, and when he came to me and he's like, all right, Brad, let's go. I was already kind of like, so I just went nuts on his mitts, right? I was exhausted, doubled over. He's like, okay, take a break. Oh, and every time we had breaks, right? They weren't breaks. He's like, yeah, keep your feet moving. Do this, do that, do lunges. I'm like, no. You don't understand. You said we can get water, right? That means we don't have to move.
Take a break, do some jumping jacks.
That's exactly what he was doing. Like, yeah, take a break and do some jumping jacks. Like, how is that a break?
How is that a break? It's not a break.
Either way, it was a phenomenal experience. It was pretty
Title
cool.
Boxing in Cool Springs. Say hey to Shiva or James. Tell them the Acme Radio Fit Tour with Nashville Fit. Thanks to Ryan over there. Check him out, Music City Fit as well. Also, it's Nashville Fit on the social media accounts. But you mentioned deadlifting. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this before we move on. So one of the things we do in CrossFit is we deadlift, and I can't do a lot of good things. Like I have plantar fasciitis and a bad knee and adrenal issues, but one of the things I can do is deadlift. And my max PR, you're not going to believe this because I'm kind of small, petite, was 220.
Shut up. I saw some women on this video doing, I'm not to one up you, they were doing like 315.
I know. Like that's a lot for me, and I'm looking around, and there are women that are smaller than me, that are whatever different compositions, even look just like and beasting out 250, 275. I'm like, what? Like
it's like more than twice your own weight. Isn't
I know. I'm like,
but you feel like an ant, didn't you?
If I need to lift something, I'm good.
That's right. I will say you did look kind of soily there, like you could actually handle yourself if you were in a fight. I will say that you did look. I was like, ooh, I ain't gonna piss Rachel off, or at least stay within her arms distance. She ain't pop me in the chin anytime soon. Anyway, what else we got going on today, Rach?
Well, you got to watch the NBA Finals last night, and I would love for you to fill me in because I'm going to tell you what I was doing. But please, because I need you here. I was in a whole nother world, a whole nother kind of hornet's nest, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But what happened in the finals?
Well, I think that when you look at the finals and you talk about the word depth, the Golden State Warriors definitely came with depth because they're big two, and I'll say two because Draymond's in there too. But he had a pretty good game as far as almost having a triple-double. I think he had like 13, 14 points and like 11, 12 rebounds. But when you talk about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the guys that have been the long-range archers for the Warriors, they weren't there. They had 20 points combined. Mm-hmm. I think Klay had 9, Steph had 11. For the most part, it was a Sean Livingston show. I mean, the guy had a personal best in the postseason of 20 points or something like that, had a number of assists. He was running Andre Iguodala. I'm not going to say he shut down LeBron, Justin, because I'm going to bring you in on this too. You watched it.
Yeah. I watched most.
He did a number on Kevin Durant and then kind of took it over to the game one where he kind of kept LeBron a little frustrated. What did you say?
No, he was definitely frustrated. I watched most of the game, and it was crazy to see the stars, I guess, not really being a part of the game. But Golden State had much more depth. I think they had like 6 players in double digits, and neither of them were Curry
right.
or,
Yeah.
So.
It was like 45-10. The bench for the Golden State Warriors outscored the Cavs bench. So when you look at the support cast, like the who's the little dude that punched Iguodala in the groin?
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
little short white dude. You know what I'm talking about?
The one that there was a big to do about whether he was going to be suspended or not recently.
Well, Draymond was going to get suspended for kicking people, but this is for the Cavs. I can't remember what his name was. He tried to just basically do a foul because they wanted to, it was like 30-something seconds or something to go in the quarter or something, and you wanted to slow down the momentum. And Andre Iguodala had the ball on the left wing there, and he just went to swipe him and ended up just completely hitting him in the Jones, So it took a little exception to that. Almost got a little feathers ruffled, but for the most part, it was the Warriors show, which you would expect, Justin, being at Oracle, Game 1 of the NBA Finals. I would have expected them to do just what they did.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, they are the favorites at the end of the day. And I mean, I think LeBron's gonna come to life here very soon. But last night they definitely got in his head a little bit. They were stifling his game.
Before we move on to the next topic at hand, do you think that the Cleveland Cavaliers can do what the Oklahoma City Thunder did for one game and it still won at Oracle?
See, I have no idea because I did not watch that
didn't watch
series.
the OKC one?
No, I didn't. I don't watch pro basketball at all except for I guess the finals. I'm one of those fans. I just kind of all right, I'll see who's winning this whole thing. Other than that, I haven't been a fan of the NBA since Reggie Miller and the Pacers going up against the Knicks.
Wow,
But I think like a lot of people that don't watch until the final series or the final couple of series.
Because the season's so long.
It is.
I get that. I get it. Anyway.
It is. No, it is. And maybe in the next break we can bring up some of the other news and college sports. But before we move forward, I want to know what you did with your week. What did you do with your Memorial Day? Because there was some cool stuff going on here, and I gotta bring it up on Memorial Day.
Actually, I will say I ride my motorcycle a lot. I picked up bike number 2.
When did you get bike number 2? I like bike number 1.
But I get bike number 1. It's there too. But bike number 1 is the one that my wife and I ride on.
He's gonna get a fleet.
Because
before you know it.
Some motorcycles. But this one's it's a V-Rod Muscle. Okay, so it's got the tone to it. It's got the big old fat tire in the back. It's got a little rake to it. So it's kind of sits like a chopper style, so to speak. But it's more like a Harley Davidson sport bike.
Wait a minute. I've always wondered this. Is this the one where you put your arms like this? You can't see this in radio land, but you have your arms extended and they're up high holding onto the handlebars.
Those are called ape hangers.
Why? Is that comfortable?
Yeah.
For many hours?
It's a lot more comfortable than you'd actually think. I had a fat boy that had ape hangers on it, and it was red and white, and I used to call it my ladybug.
Okay.
And it had black handlebars, and you'd sit just like this, and it was actually a lot more comfortable than you would think. Now, you had to get your bearings when it comes to riding it. Takes you a couple of minutes to get adjusted to it, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
So your arms just hang?
Yeah, that's gotta call it ape hangers. Yeah, because you got supposed to have arms like a monkey. You just skip there and hang on it. But the chopper style is the rake. In other words, the degree of which the forks extend from the frame itself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it kind of sits low like that.
Okay.
So actually, I was riding in Cheatham, and I needed to stop and get some gas. And when I cranked the bike back up, it's got a nice little loud tone to it that draws attention. And this guy was walking towards me, Rachel. And he just gave me the sign, rev it up a little bit. So I give him a couple, boom, boom. He's like, oh, I love that. There's no two that are like, blah, blah, blah. And and I shook his hand, and as he was standing, I kind of looked at his hat. His hat said, Nam Vet. So I said, hey, thank you for your service. And he didn't hear me. He said, excuse me. I said, thank you for your service, your hat. And he just kind of took a step back, and he looked at me, and he goes, do you mind if I give you a hug? I said, of course. And literally, I'm standing in Cheatham County, in a gas station, just hugging this guy that I've never even seen before in life. And I text you later on that day. I was like, guess what? I hugged a vet today. Because we had, who was it that we had in that we were, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but there was a guy that has the whole mantra of hugging a vet. And this guy basically did it out of the blue. I thought, yeah, that's probably God right there, just seeing how I was going to handle the situation. He could probably slip in and do something like that.
Yeah, it was Ian Michael with the Human Hug Project.
Good job.
Woo-woo!
Good job.
Look at that producer over there.
That's exactly it right there.
I know.
That's DJ Hamilton right there, boy.
Did that make you feel good? We got to let Ian Michael know that.
Phenomenal. It was great. First off, that he'd want to do that,
Yeah.
You see a brother on the hog, I mean.
In Cheatham County.
And you know exactly what I'm talking about, Justin. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was just such a unique situation. And I got on the freeway minutes later, and I was thinking about that for about 4 miles. Like, wow, this dude just came up and gave me a hug. How cool was that? Yeah.
I love it. That's
Anyway.
the simple things in life that mean everything.
Absolutely.
All right,
Connection with the peoples, man.
Exactly. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll tell you what happened here on Monday, right outside of these windows in the street. Probably one of the coolest things I've seen. Apparently, Tom Morales and Acme Feed and Seed, they do this a lot, and they're going to do it. You and I are hosting an event called Thunder on the Cumberland in just a couple of weeks. It's going to be amazing down here. And so we'll talk about what happened on Monday, what's coming up for CMA Fest, and something else that was in the news yesterday from a collegiate perspective that might blow your mind a little bit. Want to hear your take on that. He is Brad Hopkins. I'm Rachel Baribeau. It's BHop and Baribeau. 2 ways to listen, acmeradiolive.com and also the TuneIn app. It's absolutely free. Goes out to 64 million people, 230 countries and provinces. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
City, USA.
Acme Radio.
Not on my A game this morning. Sorry, y'all.
You know what's funny about it? I'm over here watching you do it, and I would have never known that anything had not gone the way it was supposed to.
You said I'm not on my A game. I'm like, what are you talking about? Sounds good.
2 sweepers in a row. That's all. It's me being in my head about production.
Well, you are also in your head. Let's talk about some events before we hit this heavy topic. But you got Bonnaroo coming up, and I was out here. So Monday was my birthday. Woo woo!
I know.
I got a trip around the sun.
So you said that you usually go to Bonnaroo. This is before you even moved here, huh?
Yeah, I used to go. I went for the first 9 years, Justin. I went when it was truly on a farm, jam bandish, very not primitive. I mean, the whole thing takes a lot of putting together, but it was definitely not what it is today.
Right.
Very different than what it is today. So Monday, it was my birthday, and I thank Tom Morales, the owner of Acme Feed and Seed, for being kind enough to throw me a birthday party of seismic proportions on my birthday. He had a very cool, if you've ever been down to Broadway, we are what we call ourselves Lower Broad. We face the river. We're right on the river. But they shut down, and I don't even want to know, Justin, what goes into this, and maybe you could tell us, but they shut down the whole block here in front of Acme Feed and Seed. And as you came out, literally came out the front door, you were looking at the side stage, this huge stage. A lot of great bands all day, but the culmination was hardworking Americans, some great musicians from various bands, including Widespread Panic. And they did an album release party, and it was an all-day thing, family fun, photo booth, food, VIP upstairs. And I just, it was at that moment, Justin and I were outside talking for a moment. It was one of those moments where you go, I'm kind of proud to be part of this team. And I even told Tom, I joked with him, I said, thanks for throwing me a birthday party. Yeah. I appreciate it. So thank you, I appreciate it. But
Rachel was so popular on her birthday. She said, it's going to take me a couple of days to respond to everybody. I sent her a happy birthday on Monday. I get a thanks on Wednesday.
She's like, I'll talk to you Friday.
Basically, yeah. I'll see you on the air.
You're wrong.
Yeah, anyway.
You're wrong. So what about this party?
It was awesome. I had a blast. I hadn't seen leftover salmon in a long time.
They were great.
And they were killer. And then Hardworking Americans were fantastic as well. You mentioned Dave Schools from Widespread Panic.
Yeah.
It's also Todd Snyder, who's a hell of a songwriter from East Nashville. And then
is he the lead singer?
Yes.
Very flamboyant.
Yes.
Flamboyant.
As you give the shoulder roll.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not just half of it.
He's a front man.
He gets
the party hype.
He's a solid front man, which is funny because when you listen to his solo stuff, it's more John Prine-ish, just more singer-songwriter. Yeah. But also Neil Casal on guitar, which is he was in the Cardinals, Ryan Adams band.
Okay.
He's been in several different projects, but just an all-star group of great guys, and releasing their second album now.
Nice.
You also are, and we can save this other topic. We can save it for the next hour. I know we got some segments, but you are also, you were talking about Bonnaroo, and this guy, our producer, has been doing Bonnaroo for all the years, right? All the feels, all the years, and he does Radio Bonnaroo. And I asked him if he had a chance to ever let his hair down and enjoy the thing, and he said he works too much.
Well,
he has to make himself go enjoy.
Sounds like Justin.
I used to be able to partake in the festivities a little bit, but now I just kind of hang back and I'll have a beer or something here and there.
Bonnaroo, I've been here for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've known Bonnaroo down there heading down 24. Don't go down in that section of town during Bonnaroo because you will not be able to get through traffic.
Right.
When did it blow up in your opinion? And I saw Snoop Dogg has come and Kanye was down there talking about he's the greatest rock star ever.
Oh, jeez, Kanye.
So when did the big art, I'm going to say diverse artists, how about that, start coming down to Bonnaroo?
I mean, the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Really?
saw Jurassic 5 at the very first
shut
one,
up.
along with Les Claypool, and then Fish and whoever. I can't even remember that first year who all was playing, but
Because you partook.
it's always been exactly. And
Cypress Hill.
it was-
Cypress
yeah.
Hill one year.
It was
they blew up a
50
huge mushroom,
yeah.
an inflatable mushroom.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's 15. That was 15 years ago, so it's been a minute. But when you've been there
Saying
every
in the
year,
membrane.
it's hard to remember everything. But I've seen some amazing shows down there from from John Prine, who I mentioned a bit ago, to Jay-Z. You know, like
how many stages are down there, guys?
there's 2 like giant stages.
Right.
There's one like main stage, a second one that's pretty big, and then 3 big tents, and then probably 2, 3, 4 smaller things.
And they name them. They do it on purpose to mess with people, and it's hilarious. It's this stage, that stage, which stage, what stage, and so you see people at the sign going,
"Where you at? I'm at which stage? What?
But which
no, I'm at
what?
that stage.
This one."
And then they added
pretty funny.
another one, so they called it the other tent. So, yeah,
That's not funny."
yeah. It's confusing.
Talking Heads was one of my.
Oh, yeah.
David Byrne with Talking Heads. That was one of my favorite performances.
Okay, my number one, I gotta say, Al Green.
He was great.
Yeah.
The
Al
Reverend.
Green.
Handing roses out to
Yes!
the ladies in the front
Shut
row.
your
I was out
mouth.
there.
He was
Yeah.
so smooth. He was so smooth.
in his
Oh, yeah.
suit and everything.
Oh, he had a suit on in the heat.
Yeah,
Oh
just
yeah,
killing it.
No, he was dapper.
Dressed to the nines.
He was dapper.
Is he
And-
so cool that he didn't sweat in the heat?
Yo, man, no, he
Ooh,
was
wait.
cool. He was glistening. He just like, he'd just take his little handkerchief
yeah.
out and just be like
Little
dive in
dabbies.
and be like, oh yeah, and just use it like it was nothing.
That's so funny.
Guy is such a pimp.
Handing out roses. That's great. That's nice.
Speaking of music, we kick off CMA Fest next week, and I know we're going to talk a lot about the CMA Fest and have artists next week and all that. But I got to say, again, congratulations to our team. I keep doing this because I'm part of the team, but I couldn't take nothing from this. Wipe it off your shoulder, right? I can take no credit for this. We have Alan Jackson in a very intimate, like singer-songwriter, hatchery, upstairs, small deal to kick off CMA Fest on Tuesday night, Brad Hopkins and Justin Hamill.
I was so jealous to hear that Alan was coming in and not going to be on our show.
Well, we don't know that yet. We're still
Yeah.
working on that.
Yeah.
You know, where there's a will, there's a way over here.
Yeah, all he can do is say no.
Yeah.
That's true.
But he seems, based on what I've heard, I haven't dealt with him personally, but he seems like a good guy. Has a great team around him, and doing something cool like this, he could play wherever he wanted downtown.
Yeah, right
but
here.
instead, he's going to play a little intimate show for the fans.
Alan's property down in Franklin, it was separated by the Harpeth from my subdivision that I lived at in Hidden River. So he used to
really?
come over to my house and show me his cars because we both collected cars, and his garage is exquisite. He actually has an amphibian car that was in his garage. And-
Amphibian car?
Yeah, it means it can ride. It actually was a boat in a car. It's like a boat with wheels. It's kind of crazy. And he also has a huge shark on his wall in his garage. Like
Did
it
he
was
catch
stuffed. It was a story to it. He told me. He said that they caught this shark. I can't remember where they were fishing, and the shark had been on their boat for like 5 hours before they got in. Right. When they got in to take the shark off the boat, it lunged at a cat.
I bet.
Isn't that crazy? 5 hours later, this thing should have been dead like a long time ago, and it like took a last gasp effort to take somebody's arm off or something. It was crazy. So he had that thing stuffed and put on his wall. It was nuts.
All right, well, Brad, you come down here on Tuesday so that we can, he knows you. That'll help us.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here. I'll be emceeing the show, so
Woo woo!
I'll intro him. But for the folks out there listening,
Yes.
if they want tickets, they go on sale in half an hour.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Half an hour, and
Down
they're
here.
gonna they're gonna go quick. So I think you can go to theacmenashville.com to get yours at 10 Central Standard Time.
The Acme Nashville. That's Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson, folks. And the coolest part of this singer-songwriter thing that we do here is they sit and tell stories of the songs, like what's behind it. Alan's been through a lot. I know there was a book written and he was separated from his wife and they got back together. And there's so much depth there. And he's one of the classics, in my opinion. For as young as he is, he's still one of the classics. And to get to hear the story behind the music, I think would be absolutely fantastic and a way to kick off the CMA Fest, theacmenashville.com.
That is correct.
And they go on sale in 30 minutes for Alan Jackson.
And they're gonna go quick, so start refreshing now.
They're going to go faster than the A line at Southwest, right?
Yeah,
When you
exactly.
check in.
For sure.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, there's a couple of things we love here at BHop and Baribeau. As Brad told you earlier, hugging veterans. We love that. We love our military. And with it being Memorial Day on Monday, and by the way, I just got to say this, no cooler day for me growing up than to share my day as every couple of years goes by, to share my birthday with those who have given it all.
Yeah.
No better day to be born. Some people say I'm born on Christmas. Gosh, people forget my birthday because it's Christmas. for me, like no better day in growing up and getting another year on this earth, another blessing, than to share it with the memory and the honor of those who have given it all.
Wish Rachel a happy birthday, but don't say happy Memorial Day, because there's nothing happy about it if you actually reflect on what it actually means. I know people mean well when they just say, hey, look, it's a time that you don't have to work, and obviously people celebrate. It's a ceremony in essence, but it's not. There's nothing happy about it. I actually, a serviceman wrote a story about that, like, I'm a Vietnam vet or some kind of vet, and it says, and I hate the word Happy Memorial Day. So let's take that out of our vocabulary.
That's very interesting. Coming up next, we're going to visit with Sean. He is the chairman of Nashville Honors Heroes, and I'm just going to tell you their slogan. And it's Nashville needs heroes, and heroes need Nashville. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back on the BHop and Baribeau Show.
I'll light the fire. You place the flowers in the vase that you bought today. Staring at the fire for hours and hours while I listen to you play your love songs all night long. For me, only for me. Come to me now and rest your head for just 5 minutes. Everything is done. Such a cozy room. The windows are illuminated by the evening sunshine through them. Fiery gems for you, only for you. Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And la 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 la. Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And I'll light the fire while you place the flowers in the vase that you bought today.
Acme Radio, live from Music City, USA.
Welcome back to the BHop and Baribeau Show. I am Rachel Baribeau. He is Brad Hopkins, and we are... There I am.
Sorry. Again, what's my deal? We switched mics.
That's
Wait a
what we
minute.
do.
Did
We
you go
switch
out
mics.
last night? I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't do anything.
That mic was off for most of the show.
Yeah, I got
I'm
it.
kidding.
I
I'm
know. I
kidding.
just
We
want
like
to give
it.
him some. Yeah,
I
he's-
even counted before we came back. I was like, oh yeah, 4, 3, 2. Okay, we're good. And then I didn't do it.
It's all good. Welcome back to the BHop and Baribeau Show. That's our esteemed producer, Justin Hamill, by the way. I give him all the credit there.
I was.
Who's
esteemed.
Justin Hamill? That's DJ Hamilton, bro. That's sticking, by the
Oh,
way.
it
I know.
is. It is. I'm
Shouldn't
Rachel
have told you
Baribeau. He's Brad Hopkins. And so excited right now to welcome in our next guest, Sean Patton with Nashville Honors Heroes. Good morning, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Good morning to you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's it's our honor. And we were just talking about Memorial Day having just passed. And Brad shared a a sentiment written by a soldier, and that was that that we shouldn't say Happy Memorial Day because there's not too much that's happy about it. It's a day of remembrance, but yet I think a lot of people in our country, man, it's pretty disheartening when you see some of these videos out there, people stomping on flags and doing things of that nature when the soldiers give us every freedom to live and to breathe and to work and to speak. That's challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you definitely see a difference in the way people approach Memorial Day, whether they're military or veteran or not. So actually last year I spoke at Caterpillar Financial on West End on Memorial Day, and they kind of asked me, well, what do you, as a veteran, what's your opinion on it? And most of the people that I speak to, service members, veterans, it's really a somber day. That's the Happy Memorial Day doesn't really sit well.
Right.
It's especially those of us who maybe have lost people, people we served with, friends, colleagues, have sort of seen the seriousness of war and the consequences. It really is it's a somber time. It's a time of reflection. We never forget the people we served with that we don't have anymore, but they're always on our mind. But especially during that time period, it sort of bubbles up.
So, Sean, one of your purposes here, as I'm reading, is to make Nashville and the surrounding areas the most military-friendly in the country.
Yes.
Explain to us further what that actually means.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the story of Nashville and its heroes kind of gets us where we are now. So briefly, 2 years ago, I decided I was going to transition out of the military. I was at Fort Campbell. I spent 8 of my 10 years as an active officer at Fort Campbell. The first 4 in the 101st Airborne Division as infantry officer, and the last 4 with the Special Forces Group. I was a Green Beret detachment commander for 2 detachments, and then was a staff officer for a year. So as I decided, hey, I'm going to move on to something else. I've done my time, done what I came in to do, and decided I wanted to stay in the Nashville area. I wanted to do some entrepreneurial things. And so I came down here, and I guess I just expected, because it's so close. I knew so many people, soldiers, family members that live and work in Nashville or just the Middle Tennessee area, and Fort Campbell's so close. So I sort of thought there would be this connection, that there'd be sort of a natural network.
Yeah.
There would be sort of a reception, or people saying, "Oh yeah, you're here. Oh yeah, we're all here too. We're doing these things," and it just wasn't there. And in reality, talking to different folks, Fort Campbell's 40 miles away. And there's 30,000 people there.
Okay.
But it could be 250 miles away, and I don't think it would change things that much.
Okay.
It's sort of disheartening. So the next question is, well, why? why is that? And so we started doing some research, and I was actually last year they did this survey, but there's a company called Military Friendly. They're the ones who publish the top 50 friendly military friendly colleges and places to retire and that sort of thing. And they've got a pretty robust algorithm and surveys they do. Well, so in 2013, Nashville was ranked 31st in the country.
Wow.
And yeah, and we thought, well, we're this close to Fort Campbell. We are, we're a growing city. We're a city that makes money, right? That has resources.
Right.
It's a patriotic city. It tends to be very pro-military. It seems a lot of things going on. Why is that? And after about a year of sort of data collection, what we concluded was that it wasn't a lack of effort in Nashville. It was a lack of coordination.
I agree.
And synchronization.
Yeah.
And so what you have is, whether it's government entities with the Tennessee Department of Veteran Services, or it's a nonprofit, or it's a business trying to do something, or an individual, they're all sort of in their own little silos, their own little verticals, if you will. And honestly, the system is sort of set up to reward that. Right? If you want grant money, you have to go apply. Well, how many people did you serve? What specifically are you going to do? And it's all about that organization.
Okay.
And so the system is really sort of set up to create these this sort of kaleidoscope of different verticals. So the end user, the veteran, the military service member, the family member, when they come down, they don't know where to go. So it's almost just happenstance. Well, okay, which door do you walk into? Who do you know? Is what organization you link up with? So it's sort of by chance do you end up with the right organization with the right services. And so seeing that, we decided that, while there are these great programs going on, what we had in Nashville was really 100% effort but a 70% output.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so what we're looking to do is through synergy, synchronization, coordination, all those buzzwords, right? Just creating a network that works together is 100% effort equals 130% output, because we think that's what the end user deserves.
Is that the fuel behind the Nashville Honors Heroes Veterans Services Convention?
Yes, absolutely. So our concept for this is, I'll take it back to the military, right? And this is an example I use when I try to explain this to maybe, both military veterans that are in this nonprofit community, and also just other nonprofit or business leaders. In the military, we never, you never get a new group of soldiers, and you go to a range, do some training, and you just do these individual exercises just in perpetuity, right? You just there's always a culminating event. There's always some build up, right? You played football, right? So you always practice up to the game, and that's the thing. And then afterward, you review and say, all right, how did we do? What's the next thing? Well, there's that needs to happen in this space, and so there needs to be, in our opinion, an annual sort of check on, all right, as a community, right, government entities, private business, and the nonprofit sector, in terms of serving our military and veterans in the Middle Tennessee area, what have we accomplished as a group, not individually, but as a group, and what measurable achievements have we had, and then let's review on that. How can we do better? And then make a plan for 2017. Make a plan for the next year, and then spend some time in breakout groups. So you have, in terms of just take one vertical, mental health rehabilitation, right? PTSD.
Yeah.
There's over a dozen nonprofits operating in this area trying to serve that same population.
But are they talking to each other?
Exactly. Yeah. They're all trying to do their best, but no one's sort of taking a step back. Right?
Yeah.
And again, military terms, going from tactical to strategic.
Yeah.
Right? No one's taking that, 10,000 foot view of, all right, well, as a whole, how are we actually serving, and we're actually, combining efforts. And it's not just on the services side, it's on the input side. So, you have these different groups, they're competing for the same grants. They're competing, not only that, you have donor fatigue because they're all going to the same people asking for money.
Yes.
And so people, then they don't know, well, who do I give to? I just gave this other group. What are you different? And so you get donor fatigue too, which hurts the system. So it's on the input and output side.
Okay.
But if those groups can come together and make a consolidated plan, write a grant for next year and say, hey, guess what? Now there's 3 groups all in the same area, serving the same population, they're coordinating. Now Nashville gets that grant. It doesn't go to San Diego, it doesn't go to San Antonio, it doesn't go to these major, larger markets, because in the nonprofit world, the term for that is interorganizational collaboration.
Okay.
And so that is really being pushed at the federal level, and it's sort of the new across all nonprofits. That's sort of the new theme that needs to happen. And so we want to try to facilitate that, and then also we think that Nashville can lead the way in sort of having this culminating exercise, this convention, having it be a celebration. Make it even type of a larger fundraiser that then can get distributed to the participants, and then we kind of proof this out over 3-4 years in Nashville. And we think this is scalable and replicable. So our hope is that Nashville sort of sets the tone and leads the way nationally. And then all of a sudden we can bring in reps and have San Diego Honors Heroes, Seattle Honors Heroes, Denver Honors Heroes.
I
And
love it.
And so this model can be replicated, we feel like, in other cities.
All right, so let's take a quick break, come back. You have an event going on tomorrow.
Yes.
I want to hear about that. And then we want to tell you about a guy that we had in, named Ian Michael, the Human Hug Project. And we want to connect you to, because Brad and I, we're facilitators in life. We connect people. And I think you need to know this guy because he's doing some great work in this community. And he made us both cry. And Brad's out hugging veterans because of it.
Nice.
And I think that's the goal. And I want to hear about some success stories that you have seen in this community by your work. Maybe it was a veteran getting back up on his feet, getting a home, getting past his PTSD. I want to hear some of the stories that you've heard through your work, and how does that personally fulfill you. So we'll do that.
Shoot, I want to hear about his special ops stuff.
I know,
as
right?
much as he can tell us.
Let me
could
say
talk
this.
that too.
My dad was a military man. He was Army. My grandfather and my brother, and I lost him in 2014. And when you were talking and the language that you were using, I knew, like, I'm a firm believer that your loved ones are around you a lot. I knew my dad was like somewhere in this room, just arms crossed, like, because he was a big salty old military man, and he was loving that military language you were using, and like the
Tactical to
analogies,
strategic.
input and output side, and I mean all this. Oh my gosh, my dad would have loved it. I know he is loving it. So kind of honoring him right now in that regard. But Sean Patton is our guest. Nashville Honors Heroes. We'll come right back on the BHop and Baribeau show for one more segment before our second hour. And we've got some great musical guests in that hour. We'll be right back.
It's the place we're gonna call our own game. You decorate it up as you see fit here. And you can help a bit, dear. It may not be much, but it is you and me. And whenever we play, just takes imagination. The speakers and lighting array. I started, baby, way back when you saw me dancing in the crowd I was dancing in. I thought you were the only one there. I know, I saw how you stared. Sparks were flying and all the rest couldn't keep heart in chest. Now here, who would have guessed?
Streaming worldwide from Nashville, Tennessee.
Welcome back, BHop and Baribeau show. So glad you're along with us. AcmeRadioLive.com. Also the TuneIn app, and soon to be Justin Hamill, our very own app.
Yes, indeed. I'm actually trying to finish that up ASAP.
How many jobs do you have?
Well, yeah.
I thought I multitask. You multitask, my friend.
Well, and yeah, but I've got a helper now. Guy is here in the room, kind of watching how we do things, and he'll be helping me out quite a bit. But yeah, the app is coming. I promise. We've got everything approved through the Google Store, but I got to get the Apple Store approved, and as soon as that's done, it's happening.
How cool is that? So will this be a free app, or do we have to pay?
It'll be a free app.
And what will happen on that app? What can you do on that app?
It's basically just a way to listen, and I think there'll be some info. You might even be able to check out some on-demand content there.
Okay.
But at the very least, you'll be able to just go and search Acme Radio versus having to go tune in, find Acme, one step, boom, you're there.
But it'll still be on the TuneIn platform. It's just through our own app.
Yep, absolutely.
That is awesome. And by the way, if you want to hear our old shows, we have amazing guests, including Sean Patton that's with us from Nashville Honors Heroes. But if you want to go back and hear any of our past content, you can go to AcmeRadioLive.com. Justin does a great job of archiving those, and we've had some just...
Who is Justin?
DJ Hamill.
DJ Hamilton on the ones and twos.
Oh my gosh, how do we ever come back from that?
Like, who is this Justin guy from which you speak? I don't even understand
I know,
that.
right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's got a new nickname now. Sean Patton is our guest, and we were talking about Nashville honors heroes. And what I love the slogan, because our slogan is bringing Nashville to the world and the world to Nashville, and yours is Nashville needs heroes, heroes need Nashville. I mean, those two are like, they're right up against each other. I'm loving that, and we were talking about on the other side of the break about Ian Michael, our friend with the Human Hug Project, and a former Marine himself. And he came back and had PTSD and was just having a really hard time, struggling. He had a dream about riding across the country, hugging people, and something to do with an art gallery. And he literally ended up riding across the country on a bike and hugging people. Well, then that led to another, that led to another, led to another. Now he has the Human Hug Project, a nonprofit, and they go into VA hospitals and they actually bring people in to hug veterans. And the thinking behind it was a friend of his, another Marine, said someone hugged him when he was in his deepest, darkest time of need, deep in PTSD, and it really literally saved his life, he said. And that's just interesting to me, that the power of the human connection when you are hurting so bad, particularly after being deployed or being in combat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's a lot of great nonprofits in the area that provide that service for veterans, and some of them provide. There's one called Battle Flag Ranch that actually was started here locally by just so happens it was a National Guard officer from Oklahoma that was on the same combat outpost I was in eastern Afghanistan from 2007 2008, and he settled down outside Nashville, started his nonprofit, and he takes military service members, veterans, and their families, especially after deployment, and they go out to the ranch. They get to get away, sort of reconnect, and do that. There's another great nonprofit in the area called Special Ops Excursions that we work with. They're locally based, and they're actually national, about to go global, and they work with active special operations units at all levels, and some different government agencies as well. And when they come back from deployments, and what they do is the hardest part for deployment, honestly, is when you come back from combat. It's not necessarily the combat. It's not necessarily all the things they sort of think of, maybe like the family. There's some of that, but really, the hardest part is not the combat. It's coming back and realizing that it sounds bad to say, but it's true, that America's not at war with you, right? Like this isn't World War II. Last time I checked, we've been at war since 2001. No one here has a victory garden, right? We're not rationing tin.
Right.
No one. Right. We're not all building ships, bomb
shelters,
shelters in the river. We're not. It's not again, military terms, total war. It's not total war. So you come back from fighting for your country, doing some of these extreme things in the worst place of the world, and you come back, and the hardest part is when you're standing in line and hear somebody complain that the pumpkin spice latte's out at Starbucks, right? And you're just like,
and how do you deal with that?
Me?
How do you?
I mean, that's the struggle, right? Is sort of I think everyone has their own way of sort of rationalizing, realizing that it's the freedoms and the way I did it. I guess I can't speak for everyone, so I'll say the way that I sort of dealt with it was, one of the reasons that I went into the military was because I grew up in Kansas, raised by a single mom, by herself, no help. Put herself through undergraduate, graduate school, worked full time, raised me, and you know what? And as I got a little older, I started realizing, I didn't worry about a bomb going off on my bus stop. There's a lot of places in the world where kids have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about a lot of these things. I didn't worry about where I was going to eat. There's a lot of places where, because of discrimination and other reasons, my mother wouldn't have been able to do what she did. And so I was grateful for that. I knew that the reason that I could live that life here is because of the sacrifice of people willing to defend that before me. So the way I look at it is, when I see people out, sort of being nonchalant about, sort of maybe not as worldly or global, sort of, in their day-to-day, which that's just our lives. That's fine. I sort of say, well, that's why I did it, right? I did it so those people, the biggest headache of their day is trying to find parking spaces downtown. Right, like that's the reason that you go do it, because how high is our quality of life here? That's what pushes us over the edge. And so that's how I rationalize it. I think other people struggle to find that, and I think that some of them sort of pull back, from sort of regular society and those interactions, But groups like these two and others, where give them time to go with their family to sort of reconnect, see what's important. Or with Special Ops Excursions, a great part is they sort of get back, with the guys, right? So, you get back and there's this homecoming, you're excited, but then it sort of settles into regular life after about a week or two.
Yeah.
And, and that's sort of where it gets hard, because you're like, well, I still haven't really dealt with this. And I'm used to being with this close-knit group of people, especially in a special operations community, because you're just working these small teams so tightly together. So it gives them a chance to sort of get that release, go back to that. They take them on, it's free to service members. They take them out and they do, hunting, fishing trips. They give them all the equipment they need. Really cool. Sort of let them decompress in that, for them, which is honestly a more comfortable environment sometimes, before they can go back. So it's groups like that that are that do that, but everybody deals with it their own way.
This comparison is on two totally different levels. You mentioned the transition. Even in pro sports, that transition can be deadly, especially when you're used to doing something. You're part of a protocol. You're part of a discipline that you've been doing since you were a kid. And if you're lucky enough to play, in the NFL or that level for a long period of time, and then it's basically taken away from you because of the the physical nature of things, you growing and aging, and then just not necessarily having a need for it anymore. Trying to find that next thing. It can be, like I just said, that bridge can sometimes have a gap in the middle of it, and we see a lot of people fall in that gap. But I wanted to go back, Sean, to something that you were talking about in the first segment, which was the improvement of the veteran services. We talked about communication possibly being an issue, and that coordination and synchronization would help with that. But what about some other areas that could definitely use some improvement as far as aiding our vets as they cycle back, and even the ones that have gone through issues before? Maybe they served a Desert Storm or something like that and have needs. Are there other areas that need to be addressed, do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a few gaps in services out there. A few of them we actually tried to, and we did start addressing, and then luckily, again, trying to stay focused and not trying to create additional redundancy. We've had spin-offs, right? When you start a company, you have spin-offs. So we sort of had some spin-offs as we've gone through. One thing we saw was there was a large veteran sort of entrepreneurial and small business community. And so, but again, they're all sort of individuals struggling just to figure out that I want to do this, but I'm not really sure how. I've got a certain skill set, but I'm not really sure how to communicate that skill set to other people and that sort of thing. And so last year we created a program under Nashville Honest Heroes called the Nashville Veterans Entrepreneur Society.
Okay.
And we started meeting monthly. It started growing. And then, after we had been doing it for a few months, another nonprofit that is in a few other cities called Bunker Labs came to Nashville, and their rep who came here to sort of stand that up, well, they're a veteran accelerator for small business owners and entrepreneurs. And so, there was a natural fit. So we started working together, introduced some other people. They did a lot of great work. They got set up at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center, and they have an office there now. And so now we've spun it off. So now our monthly meetings are now their monthly happy hours.
Nice.
Oh.
And so now they meet. And so it became sort of a talent pool for them to get a larger group to pick from, to get these select few entrepreneurs, veteran entrepreneurs in the program. And so rather than, them having to, hey, we can have 10 and we've got 11 applicants, now they can have 20, 30 and pick 10 and get some better ones. And then they can provide ancillary services for the people that meet once a month. So we've, actually 2 months ago spun that off completely and just gave it to them and say, look, let's not repeat services here.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's things like that. But in general, I would say the biggest issue we see is this coordination. The mayor, Megan Barry, and Many Bears Grinder, who's the commissioner for the Department of Veteran Services, have gotten together. They've linked up with retired Lieutenant General Huber, and they've started a group called the Nashville Serving Veterans Community Board.
Okay.
And with a similar mission of Nashville Honest Heroes, in terms of they started realizing it from, I guess, even higher up, right, 30,000 feet up. How do we do this? And so they've got some great things going from, like, I guess, a policy. And I think where we can fit in, and we've had some talks with them and working with them, is sort of connecting them, connecting the chiefs Indians who can
There you
actually
go.
get things done. Because all too often in government and these groups, they all sit down and you have committees and everyone talks.
Same
This is a
thing.
great plan,
Right.
And then, all right, well that's good talk. Let's do some
Let's-
research
yeah.
and let's have this committee meeting next month. And it's like, well, what needs to happen? And so I think getting some, some recent veterans, some people with some post 9/11 combat experienced leaders, non-commissioned officers in this group with them, so that they can, give a little more direction on all right, well, what are our outcomes? And then also, I think that having this, I think from National Honest Heroes perspective, what the service we can provide is taking off their plate the planning of this culminating exercise of this National Honest Heroes Veterans Convention, where we can really sit down and say, what have we actually done? What impact have we had? And synchronize that moving forward. I think that's the role we can play in the larger picture.
All right, so just about 30 seconds left, but tell everybody about the event tomorrow and where they can contact you to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So tomorrow we will be at Shelby Park at the Mission Pavilion. It's right there. I guess it's the southern tip of the lake there in Shelby. We'll be there. We're inviting all veteran service organizations, individuals who want to support veteran services in Nashville, to come together. Operation Song, a nonprofit that helps soldiers deal with PTSD by helping them actually express it through writing songs and creating music, is going to be there. Mission Barbecue is a great supporter of local veterans. They're providing all the food, so a big shout out to Mission Barbecue. Check them out; they're great. But we're all going to be there from noon to 4, and it's going to be a time to network, informally talk to each other, so get this community going, and then have some real discussions about how do we get this together so we can have this convention in November, because we want to have it right around the Veterans Day time frame. So if we want to make that happen, we really need to sit down and put some timelines, put some metrics in place, and sort of take the next step forward.
I'll tell you what, man, you look like you got a high and tight there. You look like you're in shape. You look like you can run from here to Clarksville, man. You still working out?
I do, actually. So when I know we were short on time, but so my sort of dream, the entrepreneur dream I talked about, I'm realizing right now. So I actually own a UFC gym franchise in Hendersonville.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so and I'm hoping to open up 3 more in the Nashville and Brentwood area. So I'm in the middle of doing that. So yeah, I'm in there training all the time, and we got a great.
That is not
gym
fair.
up in
Special ops
Hendersonville,
dude doing UFC
I
stuff.
know, right?
Somebody's in trouble, man.
All right, you have to come back on and tell us about that whole iteration and that whole side, and then tell us more on the convention. I'm having a party tomorrow afternoon, but if I can, I want to stop by. But if not, the next event, I want to come and support that. So how can people get in touch with you before we get a break?
Absolutely. So they can go and like and follow us on Facebook. It's National Honest Heroes. They can email me directly at chairman@nashvillehonest.heroes.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. He's Sean Patton, Nashville Honors Heroes. Go to the website, the Facebook page, I should say, and check out the event tomorrow. You definitely, if you're in Nashville, you want to check that out and everything that they're doing for our veterans. That's so amazing. This is the BHop and Baribeau Show. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
It's been a while since I've seen your face, smiling in the back of that hometown cafe. It doesn't matter what's in between to find you, to find you. I've got a ways to go. Rise in the morning, make a buck, and I'm gone for. I'm ready to cash it all in. Make a bet with the devil that I'll find you again. Way that you moved in slow, and crack that first smile behind a thick cloud of smoke was a moment I knew I'm all in. Now I'm selling my soul with my back to the wind. It's been a while since I've seen your face, smiling in the back of that hometown cafe. It doesn't matter what's in between to find you, to find you. Back
TuneIn app.
Welcome back, BHop and Baribeau. Rachel Baribeau. He is Brad Hopkins. We are moving and shaking this morning on the BHop and Baribeau show. TGIF. Hope you have planned a great weekend. I'm having tomorrow I'm having a housewarming / my dog is 17. It's her birthday. She's 17, y'all. / my birthday / 1 year anniversary in Nashville party at my house.
Yeah, I was going to try and make that, but
You're not coming?
Colin actually is in an all-star baseball game. So he's going to he has 2 games tomorrow, I think 1 and 6 o'clock. And actually, he's in a tournament today at Siegel High School.
Okay.
At 3 and 6. So got to go out and support my man. He's actually going to play ball at Vol State. So we're excited about that, and this is going to help him start that career. So.
That's the only reason I would allow you to miss.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Family.
Thank you. I'll have him send you a thank you card.
That's the only reason I wouldn't have my feelings hurt, because of family. No, family comes first. And on Sunday, I'm doing something. You're hosting. I'm in a fashion show with your wife, and you're hosting on Sunday. Busy weekend for the Agape animal mission rescue. They do a lot of rescue work for cats and dogs here in Nashville. You've been a part of this before. I have no idea what to expect other than they're dressing me as like in 50s gear, 50s hair, 50s gear, 50s clothes, and I carry a dog. Can you tell me more than that?
No.
But you're hosting.
Yeah. Actually, it's the Agape event that I did last year. I wasn't the host of it.
But this year they're the host.
Yeah. Kelly Ford and I are actually going to be hosting it this year. And actually, it's a cool way to kind of spotlight, the rescues.
Yes.
And to bring attention to those those animals that don't have homes per se, So if you're one of those people that, needs a fur baby or something, and it's cool to go to a kennel and buy yourself an expensive one, but what about the ones that need homes? The ones that
buy, rescue.
All right, exactly. So all of our dogs are rescues, and so it's a cool way for me to give back and just be a part of this thing. We get to dress up and we get to, go out there and showcase our puppies and stuff like that.
Do.
Some of them are ours and some of them aren't. But there's a dog for every participant, and there's going to be a lot of local talent there. Some former Titans, some former artists and things of that nature are going to be down there at the it's the Hutton Hotel. I think
it's a red carpet, fancy schmancy.
Yeah. I think we start off at like 7 o'clock, I think, or maybe we even start talking about it at 6:30 or something like that. But it's an all day affair because we've got to go and do our rehearsals and stuff like that.
Hair and makeup and rehearsals and all that good stuff. I won't bring my rescue dog. He's like 100 pounds. So I won't bring him. I don't know how we'd walk him on the stage, but it's funny enough. I have one 17-year-old lab, and Brad, the other one I have is my rescue, and homeboy is on Prozac and Xanax.
So he wouldn't be that attentive.
we finally found the magic cocktail, and that is Prozac and Xanax. Prozac alone wasn't working. He was a little anxious, and when I say a little, that's an understatement at times. And with the excessive panting and pacing and following around and you're talking about there were times where I'd throw the ball with him 2 or 3 times a day. He had plenty of exercise and still so anxious. And I called the vet and I said, what do we do? And he said, well, the next thing we do is add Xanax to the mix. So now he gets a half a Xanax in the morning, a half a Xanax at night. The first time I gave it to him, I felt like the most terrible dog owner, Justin, because he fell down the stairs like loopy, like a human would on drugs. But now he's kind of evened out. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for this dog.
I don't know how cool it is telling people that you get your dog high.
I don't get him high. I'm helping him.
Yeah.
The dog is special needs.
So now you got him hooked on Xanax. What is going on with you?
The dog is special needs. Okay. So I love my rescue, and here's the silver lining. A lot of people would have given up on him a long time ago because he has these little moments of aggression towards the older dog, and then as soon as he does it, he feels very ashamed. You can tell he hides in the corner. He's ashamed of himself. He didn't want to do it, and 99% of the time he's fine. And so I've had so many people over the years tell me, just get rid of him, just give him back. And I'm like, you know what? I don't roll like that. I don't get rid of people. And I don't give people back, and I certainly don't do it to animals, and I don't give up on people. I don't give up on relationships. I fight my hardest. I try my hardest. And when you adopt an animal, I am not one of those people that leaves them at the shelter because we're moving, or we got a baby, we need to give him away, or we don't have room, we don't have time for him or room for him anymore. You know what? Make time, make room, I just it's really sad to me when people unnecessarily give up their animals.
Yeah, that's so cool that you brought that up, and it's actually so cool that you're being part of this thing too. It's once again, it's the Glitter and Glam event. It starts obviously June 5th at 5 o'clock. Goes till 8. It's at the Hutton Hotel. 103.3 Nash is FM's Kelly Ford will be one of my co-hosts, and I'll be up there too, and we'll be introducing our talent as they walk the runway with their dogs.
Woo, woo, woo.
Rachel Barber will be walking with a pit bull that named Savage. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I don't know what you're going to be walking. Actually, because you saw me, I had my tux on last year, and I had this little looked like a football I had in my hand, but it's a little cute dog. I actually was hoping I could bring one of my puppies too, but at the time I think that the older ones were a little too old for that kind of the excitement, and the young ones maybe Duke would have been able to do it, but Charlie he's kind of a limit. 4. You got 4.
I love it. See,
got 2 pits, a Labrador and a black lab.
I love it. All right, can we go ahead and take a break so that we can get calling in on time? We got an awesome musical guest, and we have Lucy's Angel coming up at the bottom of the hour. 2 amazing musical guests. You know us for a lot of things. We're going a lot of different ways and topics, but you know us, I think, one of the things the best is for the music that we have on this show. The live music, it is amazing. He's Brad Hopkins. I'm Rachel Baribeau. BHop and Baribeau on Acme Radio Live. We'll be right back.
Acme Radio, live from Music City, USA.
Welcome back, BHop and Baribeau show. 17 minutes ago, Acme, Justin, help me. Acme, what's the website to get the Alan Jackson ticket? 17 minutes ago.
TheAcmeNashville.com.
TheAcmeNashville.com. If you're going to be here on Tuesday
Sorry,
night.
I was like, I don't know what you're going to say.
I don't know what you're going to say.
I will help you.
I don't.
Help
but help me help
you.
If you want Acme, you say it one more time. I'm gonna have
TheAcmeNashville.com.
TheAcmeNashville.com. I am informed this morning. If you want to go on there, they may have already been sold out 18 minutes ago. Alan Jackson kicks off the CMA Fest right here upstairs in the Hatchery. Very intimate singer-songwriter event going on Tuesday night. Right now, we have Foster in the building. And Brad, I'm going to let you take it from here because you know this young man. You procured this talent for this show. But he just leaned over and said to me, I'm sorry, I've got to tell the world this.
Oh, it's all
and we
good.
literally go out to the world. He said, what are you going to call me? And he said, are you going to call me Colin or Foster? And I said, well, what do you go by? And he said, well, I go by Foster. I said, like Prince or Madonna, like the one word name. And he said, yup. This kid's smooth. Foster. Foster joins us.
What's up, Nashville?
So this is so cool because I grew up. I didn't grow up. He grew up around me. Basically, our kids went to school in the Grafton school system at Innsworth, and when I found out that he was actually becoming a recording artist, I was like, "There's no way in the world I'm gonna have this show down here and not have this dude come on that I used to coach in basketball when he was like in middle school, or even elementary school." So I guess one of the first things before we have you do spit a few bars for us is tell us how you guys started with this. I mean, I had no idea that this was even in your background.
Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't in my background. I mean, I remember a long time ago, I used to hate hip-hop and rap. I remember my sister showed me Lil Wayne, and I was like, how do you listen to that so bad? Because I was, raised by what my dad listened to, and it was definitely not rap. But
what did he listen to?
He listened to, from jazz to alternative, just, dad stuff. But,
Stuff.
Yeah. But, then somebody introduced me to who I would say is my main inspiration, Mac Miller, and I started, remembering his lyrics and recording myself rapping his lyrics, and I was like, I don't sound that bad. So I started, writing. It was a quick transition. I started writing, and then I was like, I've got to record. I've just got to try this. And one of my friends at the time had a microphone, so that's pretty much how it all began. I got a cheap microphone. Now I've moved on. I went from recording with a sock over a microphone and a pantyhose over a coat hanger to record it in pretty nice home studio. So I'm doing okay.
Pantyhose and a coat hanger. Help me.
That's I don't know. It's just it's an old trick, I guess.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like a pop filter.
So I heard one of your first tracks.
Things new every day.
Colin sent me the track, and he's like, "You need to listen to this. This is my son, Colin. This is Foster right here. You need to check him out." And so I was listening to it. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And then he told me who it was. I was like, "Shut up." So when you think about it, usually the background in hip hop is, a lot of impoverishment, a lot of struggle, and a lot of desperation. Goes into the lyrics, and that's why it has that gruff perception about it. You didn't grow up that way.
No, yeah.
So what style did you gravitate towards in trying to create who you are?
I don't know. I really just kind of focus mostly on just how much I love doing what I do, and kind of a positive aspect. A lot of my songs are about, how you should love life and that every day's a blessing.
I love that.
And but then again, some of my other songs are more generic rap, kind of nothing really about struggles as far as poverty wise, but some struggles that we all go through. But
so what's the end game for you? Total world domination?
Man, I don't know. Like I'd like to just be living on a tour bus. That's, I guess, the first thing that comes to mind.
So you can see yourself being a Macklemore or a next big star out there that just is doing night after night gigs and.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So the local influence, I guess you could say, this is the country music mecca.
No,
you know?
yeah, there really isn't any local influence here.
There's no underbelly. There's no hip hop like underground
get you with
scene or something
we
like
need to
that.
get you with this guy. Justin Hamill he's the hip hop kind of guru,
really?
the scene here in Nashville. Like we always say, Brad and I say we kind of bring people together. Like you two need to
hook
talk.
up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's more of them. Because
Right,
I will
Justin?
say that
I think so.
there's a lot of diversity when it comes to the music scenes here. A lot of Americana, a lot of country, and there is the hip hop underbelly, jazz, blues, things of that nature.
Right.
So I guess when you're looking at the local talent, you might be one of the first ones that if you can actually reach the star that you hope to reach, that can
I
actually
hope
bring a
so.
name to
That would be
Nashville.
nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that this will probably be the last place I conquer, just because it's not the scene at all, really.
Well, if you think about it too, whether you want to say it biblically or not, for me it is biblically. Look, the home is always almost the last place to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the last people you win over. Not home like in your home, but your hometown. Sometimes your hometown people, you got your supporters, but then you got people that may not support you behind your back, or you may not be. They may not see your talents. Oftentimes, you have to go out into the world, prove yourself, and the last people to actually get on board are some of the people that you've known the longest.
Yeah.
And so, and if that's the case, hey, come back to Nashville and change the scene.
I hope so. I hope to come back and sell out Bridgestone someday.
Woo! Look at that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a big goal, though.
You're a relatively young guy. Just you're coming out of high school. Talk about the support, maybe from your peers, that that kind of helps you at least achieve some of those goals.
Well, I'm just turning 19, so I am pretty young. But I've got some good support from, I've got people that I'm kind of friends with, and then I've got good friends, and usually those good friends are the ones that are, telling me keep at it. Joey over here, he's always got me getting to work, getting on me about not working as much as I should be. But I usually
that work ethic's got to come in contact.
Absolutely.
My work ethic is, I'm very proud of my work ethic.
Good.
Especially for not making any money off of it. But and then I've got just some generic friends that are they don't have much to say about it, but that's fine.
And you know that they're there.
Yeah.
So why don't you give us an example? I know that you've actually helped coordinate with Justin. DJ Hamilton. Help coordinate, attract the Rex.
Never ever going to be anything different now.
So I'm not sure how this is going to come in, but obviously you've heard it before. So give us a little example of Foster.
All right.
Yeah.
Let the beat drop real quick.
I feel like I should be hyping you up right now. Yeah.
You can if you want.
Oh, Rachel.
It's been a long time coming. Put the work in and I hit the ground running. They say you get what you give, so I'ma give them everything and something. Chance so slim, can't put it in a fraction. But then I made a plan, time to put it into action. Ha ha, yeah, laugh at my passion. But when I hit the stage, you gon' have a new reaction. But then again, will I make it? Will the work pay off? Will I make it? I'ma fight just to get back from the pavement. If a dream, then I'ma chase it.
Ooh, that's nice.
So a little preview.
Yeah, I like
That was
that.
amazing.
I like that.
I was
Appreciate
bobbing my head over here.
So
I mean, that's a good stuff.
You can hear a little grit in there. You can hear a little determination. I mean, is it always about the struggle? I mean, or is there other inspirations that actually come through the pen onto your pad?
Well, I mean, most of it's obviously just because, I don't know. I mean, if you want something bad enough, the struggle is always on your mind. Mm-hmm. And so that's where if I just let my mind onto the paper, that's where a lot of it goes. But, there's a lot of stuff's just like, sometimes I'll just write about what I do in the day. Like, wake up, take a shower, go to school. Just like stuff that everybody kind of can relate to. I write a lot of love songs, not fully because I'm like in love or anything, but just because a lot of people out there relate to that and can help them through hard times and stuff.
It's not a Taylor Swift situation where you're putting girlfriends in there and stuff.
Don't do it. Where can everybody follow you, support you, all of those things?
Yeah, you can follow me on all my social medias are at Foster615.
Okay.
And all of my music, I have 52 songs out on SoundCloud.
Wow.
You can type in Foster615 or SoundCloud.com/Foster615 and got a new 16-song mixtape out on there.
Thank you so much.
It's only the beginning is what it's called.
It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning for you. You're going to sell out Bridgestone a couple of years from now.
We can say we had him on the show.
Exactly. Come back and do a song or two for us. That's what I want you to do next time.
Yeah, I definitely need to come back and do.
Come back and do that for us. Sure. He is Foster.
Yes, check him out on social media, Foster615, like he said.
Foster615. Thank you so much, Foster, for coming in with us. We appreciate you. BHop and Baribeau show. We'll come right back with Lucy Angel. How cool is this? A mother and two daughters. It's like a modern day iteration of the Judds, right? Like the Emmylou Harris, the throwback Emmylou Harris and Dolly Parton. A mother and two daughters, and tell you their neat story and have them perform for us. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on BHop and Baribeau.
pretty steamy up in here. Sexy weekend on
on to the coast, yeah, we're gonna play in the sand. Yeah, yeah. And if you get lonely, I promise you this, girl. Oh, you can come close, dear, rest in my pits. But then you call me up, say you're not gonna make it 'cause you've been held up. And my suspicions aroused, and I know you're faking and you've been called out. But I've been having those sexy weekends lately, all on my own. Sexy weekend lately, all on my own. Sexy weekend lately, all on my own. Sexy weekend lately, all on my own. Well, I might as well make the best of this situation while I'm here. As I hug on my pillow and I sip on my beer. No, I haven't had this much fun stalking on Facebook before. And I'm beginning to hit bullseye on that picture of you I put up by the door. Yeah, your absence has made it clear you don't wanna be here. Yeah, despite all the tears I've cried, I'm having a good time, enjoying a sexy weekend lately, all on my own. 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 Sexy weekend lately, all on my own.
Acme Radio, your Nashville lifestyle station.
Welcome back, BHop and Baribeau show. I'm Rachel Baribeau. He is Brad Hopkins. We said before the break, one of the things we're known for is keeping it real. We have a great time here, but the best thing we're known for is amazing music. We have had all sorts of people on this show since the inception, and we just heard this mother and two daughters warm up, and I got chills over here, and I was stomping my foot, and I was moving my head, and we are just so thrilled to be joined this morning by Lucy Angel, and this is mother Kate and daughters Lindsay and Emily Anderton. Welcome so much. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. We're excited.
So where did it start? Did it start with you, Kate, picking up an instrument and then just kind of passing it on to your daughters? Did one of them get you into it, or how did this thing start?
I always sang growing up and sang with a band, even, when the kids were little. And I think when Lindsay got to be about 12, she actually joined another group that I had and started performing professionally with us.
It was really cool because it was the first time that I had ever sang harmony and so my mom really was there teaching me harmony, which sometimes was good. Yeah. It was awesome, but it's hard to learn from your mom sometimes or take criticism from your mom, and you're like...
I try really hard not to be the mom when
she does a really
I'm
good
in
job.
the group.
Yeah.
But that's a very hard...
They're your daughters at the end of the day.
I know, but I really try to okay, I'm not the mom here. And there are just certain things I can't say.
Yeah.
I'll have to see somebody else say this because I can't. I get it because I had a mom. I know.
I mean, I'm so
don't want to
interested.
hear certain things.
I'm so interested in the family dynamics of this band. I mean, a mother and two daughters touring together, and in this, you're very successful. We'll go down a list of the things that that you've done in your career and just recently. But listen. I have a business with my mom. I have a boutique, a clothing boutique with my mom. She has the gallery, and so I help her with the online stuff, and we pick it and we work it together.
Cool.
And it's so interesting to me. People say to me all the time, I could never do business with my mom. And I'm like, she's my best friend. We drive each other nuts because we're so much alike, but she is my best friend. There's no one in the world I'd rather see succeed and be happy and be plentiful and all those things than my mom. So I'm just so interested in the family dynamics with you guys.
Well, you just hit the nail on the head right there when you said she's your best friend, because we really are so close and best friends and would be hanging out anyway if we weren't doing a band. So we're like, hey, let's just do it. This is our passion. Let's go for it.
So, Emily, did Lindsay get you into it? Obviously, you mentioned the bands that you were managing, Kate, and that's how Lindsay got involved. Emily, how did you get into the trio?
Okay, well, we all sang as kids growing up, and I loved it. And something happened when I hit my teenage years, which I think is common. I just felt awkward and did not want to be on stage. So I took a little break for a couple years. We moved to Nashville, and Lindsay and Mom were just a duo. But, we were here like a year, and I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Wow.
But it took her...
I was a little stubborn.
Another year to actually vocalize that.
Here's the thing. Everyone our last name is Anderton. So Andertons are overreactors.
Really?
I know nothing about that.
I was just trying to keep things, I didn't want a big news flash. Emily's joining the band, so I just was sent Lindsay a text message and said, "Hey, I think I want to sing some background vocals with you and Mom."
So I about fainted. But I'm like, I knew it. I'm like, you cannot be in this family and not want to do this.
Yeah. But they don't tell me. They go, we have something we want to tell you. And I'm like, oh, my God, what is it? Something's, I thought there was really a problem. Not that, Emily wants to sing. And I'm like, that's good news. Why are we acting like there's a problem?
You guys are like the modern day Judds. In a good way, in a beautiful way. That's the biggest for me.
Oh, no,
I
love
the
Judds. We love the Judds. We grew up, listening. And when we were a duo, obviously, people were like, oh, like the Judds. We're like, yes, now we're like the Judds plus Ashley.
So, Kate, you were mentioning that you were maybe managing some acts. Is that something that you were doing?
Yeah.
Like the ones that...
I just managed kids.
Oh, okay. I thought that Lindsay was with another group that you were working with.
I was
She was
in the group.
Oh, you were in the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was singing in the group.
It was like a Andrew Sister style kind of group.
So we did some 3-part harmonies. So we were like, Lindsay's 12. She could probably handle this.
So you must have been doing something right because, in so many instances, we'll see our kids not necessarily follow the path that we follow. They want to do their own thing, but you were doing things enough, at least interestingly enough, for your daughters to want to do what you were doing.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
It's really, Lindsay actually sang her first solo at 4, and Emily probably at the same age too. She did a duet with a little boy, but they were really on stage at a very young age, but they liked it. I wasn't pushing
well, and I
them.
feel like because it was really her passion, and you could feel that and see that, and she still raised 4 children while doing all of these kind of things, and I did really grow up just thinking this is what I want to do. This is what you just do. There's just not a question.
Well, and what an amazing, and we're going to, in just a minute, we're going to take a break and we'll come back and we'll let you guys sing, but what an amazing example you have there too of a woman who raised 4 children and said, you know what, anything is possible, and kept singing and kept dreaming. And then here come you guys, and you're a duo, and then you're a trio. I mean, what an amazing role model you have there.
I know. And now I have a 3-year-old, and I see now.
Oh, stop.
More how I'm like, and I just have one, and I'm like, how did you do it?
Yeah.
Like 4 times.
I'm not
and
sure.
so well. Like it takes all of us to just raise my 3-year-old.
Emily's like looking at us like, yeah, she's not even kidding.
It takes a village.
We're all mom here.
All right, so you recently had you performed on The Bachelor. What was it? This season? Was it? When was it?
It was Ben and Lauren.
Okay,
so
Ben and
we
Lauren.
were their first date. Ben and Lauren's first date.
And sparks were flying.
Oh my gosh, they were so
Oh,
adorable.
yeah.
So they're the ones. Did they get married?
They
okay.
Well,
they're
they're
engaged. They're engaged. Okay.
Yes.
So you saw it before it even happened. Really.
We were sawing.
As it was happening.
We're sawing.
We were seeing it as it was happening, and it was an amazing.
My favorite thing is that Mom told Ben,
I'm
you
responsible.
need to keep that one. You need to hold on to that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
Mom, can I
actually,
take
Kate
you on
was
some
the one
dates
that-
with me? Can I see if you
pick
can?
'em.
Yes,
No.
good.
Real quick, there seems to be an element of pro wrestling when it comes to The Bachelor and those kind of series. Is this like real? I mean, is this like a real connection for real?
It was really
a real
connection.
connection.
I was.
Yes.
I was
And
surprised.
even before we met them, the crew was saying, hey, they're having dinner and they're talking about kids and it's going really well. So this is going to be so much fun for you guys because they're really there's some real chemistry.
vibing.
Yeah.
I was struck by how sincere. I didn't expect. You know what I mean? It's a reality show, and it's all you think it's going to be all fake. He was so sweet and so sincere, and so was she. I was like, wow, this is. I mean, it was really. An interesting situation.
True love does win sometimes.
It was slightly awkward because they were making out while we were singing, and so normally you look at the crowd, and so we're like, do we look? Do we
time.
like? I feel like I shouldn't be watching this, but like, hey,
There was nothing else to look at.
Where else
right?
are we gonna look?
He warned us though. He goes, "I'm going to be making out, so the next time
Yeah,
you
he
see
goes,
me,
next time you see me, I'll be kissing some girl. So I'm like,
So let me ask you this real quick before we go to break. How did you feel when he would go on a date with somebody else, even though you had a favorite?
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah.
Because we were definitely Team Lauren after that.
yeah,
And
Lauren B.
Yeah, and no, offense to JoJo. I think she's adorable, and I'm happy she's getting to be the Bachelorette, and now we're like watching her.
Yeah.
But you could kind of see the difference, how he would act with her.
Okay.
And maybe it's because we did have some, she was our favorite. But you could just see that there was a real connection when he was with her. I just felt like it was a different thing, even though he was making out with like a lot of other girls.
Right. But there was a real connection with Lauren. That's awesome.
I'm gonna be kissing her, but I'm gonna be thinking about you, baby.
The whole time. And that's how that whole show goes. All right.
Do they watch it afterwards? Because I would
Some
have
do
a
and some
real
don't.
I would
Right.
not watch.
I love
I couldn't do it.
Are you watching it all this
I
year,
am,
The Bachelorette?
yeah.
I love how JoJo is like, she is so taking this, like she's enjoying the power. And she'll just if she wants to kiss a guy, she'll just grab him and kiss him. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing.
Lord.
And let me just say, there are some good looking men this season. I'm like, whoa, I don't know. There's a couple from Nashville, but they went far and wide.
Hope they do some health screening before the show.
Yeah, I know.
sure. Actually, I think they do. My girlfriend tried out for it, and they do literally like blood tests,
That's
background
good.
tests,
yeah.
like
Really?
they do it all on you to make sure you are who you are.
I feel like somebody was a little sloppy with Chad this year.
So here we
You might be a
go.
little crazy.
What is going on there?
I love that she uses the word sloppy.
It's a good one. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to hear from these beautiful, amazing ladies, and we will be right back on BHop and Baribeau Show.
Don't wanna fight, I don't got a right to. This
Acme Radio. Discover your favorite artist tomorrow, today.
Welcome back, BHop and Baribeau show. He's Brad Hopkins. I'm Rachel Baribeau. TGIF in Nashville. Bringing the world to Nashville and Nashville to the world via the TuneIn app. We have our new app coming, our own app. Justin Hamill is working on that as we speak. Also, Acme Radio Live. And we're joined by Lucy Angel, Kate, Lindsay, and Emily Anderton. Makes up this beautiful trio. And we have been talking Bachelor. We've been talking your career. I know you guys have a new YouTube vlog called Life with Lucy Angel. Want to hear about that, but I know you've got some music to play too, ladies, because you were warming up. And I mean, I was just, I knew this was going to be good.
Real
it's
quick,
really good.
The name, Lucy Angel. How did that come about?
You know, the name is one of the hardest things in a band because we kept getting called the Andertons, the girls, the whatever. But the name Lucy Angel came from a World War II airplane. My father fought in World War II, and I'm Army brat.
Me too.
The life. Yay! Oh,
yay!
Me three.
Oh, awesome. We actually lived at Fort Campbell for a while too. But so Lucy Angel comes from, it's like the nose art on the World War II bombers. So.
Yeah. So what's the first song you're going to play us? And tell us the meaning behind it.
Well, we are going to play a song called Stripes. We actually put it on our album, but it's a Brandy Clark song, and we are huge fans of her. We heard it actually on her record before she actually put it out, and we I think we just liked it because it was kind of a touchy subject, but said in a really funny way, and it's brilliantly written, and it's just it's a lot of fun. So.
When I heard you guys warm up, it reminded me of Reba. That's the night the lights went out in Georgia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the whole
the little vibe of
the little vibe. Yeah.
My favorite thing is opening a show with you were lying there with nothing on but a goopy little grin and a platinum blonde, and just watching people's reaction to that. It's
I know that's right.
Wow.
That sets the tone right there, huh, Emily?
I know. Big.
Yeah. No questions about what's about to go down.
I know exactly.
All right, ladies.
All right.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You were lying there with nothing on but a goofy little grin and a platinum blonde. I can't believe you do that on our bed. I got a pistol and I got a bullet and a pissed off finger just itching to pull it. The only thing keeping me from losing my head is I hate stripes and orange ain't my color. And if I squeeze that trigger tonight, I'll be wearing one or the other. There's no crime or passion with the crime of passion. The only thing saving your life is that it don't look good in orange, and I hate stripes. Whoa. Well, I could fall in love with a prison guard. I could sell cigarettes in the prison yard. Don't think hard time would be that hard on me. Well, I could pick up trash on the side of the road, but I'd die if I saw someone I know. Ain't the chains, it's the clothes that's stopping me. 'Cause I hate stripes and orange ain't my color. And if I squeeze that trigger tonight, I'll be wearing one or the other. There's no crime of passion with the crime of fashion. The only thing saving your life is that it don't look good in orange, and I hate stripes. Oh, and shots ain't worth a bad mug shots. God knows I wouldn't be caught holding up a number while the whole town's staring at the picture in the paper of me wearing stripes. is that it don't look good in orange, and I hate stripes. And orange ain't my color. And if I squeeze that trigger tonight, I'll be wearing one or the other. There's no crime of passion with the crime of fashion. The only thing saving your life is that I don't look good in orange, and I hate stripes. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Nice. Beautiful harmony.
Oh, thank you.
How long did it take for you guys to develop that chemistry there? Because obviously you guys are related, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to sound good together. How long did it take for you guys to work on that and perfect it?
It was a process.
Right.
Because Mom and I were a duo when we moved here.
Mm-hmm.
So we had kind of been here for about a year or two and had a little project going, and we're trying to develop a sound just as a duo. And then Emily decided to join, which is awesome. And so then we kind of had to go back in and, rework things and it's really cool because it was just a cool process to witness, like, firsthand, seeing, because we've grown up and known each other obviously all of our lives. Mm-hmm. And it was cool how it came together, and I feel like we've, honed. Ooh. Oh.
It's not me.
Mom, you're in trouble.
It's okay. It's okay.
The weird thing, so most of the
Dad.
time, no, it is. Literally, Dad has a way of,
I'm serious.
So cute.
Did he call during The Bachelor? That's all I'm wondering.
He was there. He got to be there.
Are you kidding?
That's wonderful.
We actually
Got Pops wrapped in too, huh?
No, he and both of our brothers. It's sort of a family business. Like, our brother does a lot of all of our videography and pictures and photos, and yeah.
He didn't have a set of drums or something he could play to be a part of it.
He's a great guitar player and
we just
songwriter.
wrote 2 songs with him like last week.
Really?
So yeah,
Super
it's really
creative.
fun.
My other son also managed us for a little while, and then we wore him out.
Yeah, he moved back to Arizona for like a year.
You guys are like
good.
wrangling cats. I can't do it.
At CMA Fest, what's ahead for CMA Fest for
Yeah.
you guys?
We're really excited. We're playing the Hard Rock, so just right across the street, Friday at 12:45.
Okay.
Just look out the window.
And then,
Yeah, we'll wave at you. We ain't going over there, but we'll wave.
but it's literally, it's the most fun time to play in Nashville, just with all of the amazing country music fans that come to Nashville for that. And they're just,
who work harder than we do, really, to get around to all of their favorite artists. And it's so hot most of the time.
Yeah.
They're up, early in the morning getting those signatures and all the way, into the night.
So if somebody's coming and they're listening and they're on their way to CMA Fest or they're getting ready to come, what are some CMA tips that you have?
sunblock.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Hats, maybe a fan with the little
those little fan with the
waters for
mister
the-
thing.
Yeah.
Those are a must.
brutal.
Yeah.
Talk about accomplishment. You guys have mentioned your bachelor. You guys even played in Beijing, China? Are you kidding me?
Did. That
How
was
that
crazy.
experience?
It was actually the Chinese cultural minister is a big country music fan, and he came to the CMA Music Awards, and we were performing in town, and he saw us and asked us that night to come to Beijing, and in January. So it was like really, we're like, oh, okay, and our head of our label was like, they'll be there. So we literally were in Beijing, China, and performing at the Great Hall of the People in Tiananmen Square, which I was,
amazing.
blown away.
So our producer tells me that we have time for you guys to take us out with another song if you'd like to play another song for us.
How cool is that?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Justin.
Start a song, ladies.
I love it. She says just start a song.
I'll figure it out.
I know that's right.
At the start I told myself that getting over you'd be easy. So what if you walked off and left my world in pieces? The truth is I was hurting as I pulled it all together. You'd have to have a heart of stone not to mourn the loss of forever. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't lonely. I don't want someone to hold me, that I didn't spend a few nights crying. I'd be lying if I said you didn't change me. I've been realizing lately, if I said that I still loved you, I'd be lying. Now that I've climbed that mountain, oh, the air's a little clearer, and I see a woman moving on as I look in the mirror. And I caught myself today looking forward to tomorrow, slowly filling up the empty places and spaces you left hollow. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't lonely. I don't want someone to hold me, that I didn't spend a few nights crying. I'd be lying if I said you didn't change me. I've been realizing lately, if I said that I still loved you, I'd be lying. I'd be I'd be lying if I said I wasn't lonely. I don't want someone to hold me. I'd be lying if I said you didn't change me. I've been realizing lately, if I said that I still loved you, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't lonely. I don't want someone to hold me, that I didn't spend a few nights crying. I'd be oh, I'd be
That's the way you go out right there. Thank you, ladies. Happy Friday. BHop and Baribeau on Acme Radio Live. They are Lucy, Angel, amazing trio. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
All right. We'll see you on Monday. 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 We'll see you on